Hey y'all, it's Kim. So I started the video with it has Kennedy, Dimona, and the proliferation problem in 1961 to 1962, pretty much trying to keep Israel from making nuclear bombs. They claimed that it was for energy purposes, tech from it, whatever you think. But this is one of the documents that was cited within the main body of the text, but it's called a Memorandum of Conversation or a Israeli Reactor, and this used to be confidential. Let me go over here. So this is the same document, it's just in a bigger format so I can read it better. So it's been declassified. Originally, it's confidential. Department of State, and this again dated February 3rd, 1961. Subject is the Israeli reactor. Participants: His Excellency Abraham Harman, Ambassador of Israel, and G. Lewis Jones, Assistant Secretary for NEA. Let's see, Tel Aviv, London, and let's see, copies to basically the state. Um, okay, so Ambassador Harman called on me today at his request to discuss tactics in connection with the Arab refugees at the resumed United Nations, having in mind the president's interest in the Dimona reactor and the few words exchanged with the secretary February 2nd before the luncheon for Lloyd Henderson. I arranged to see Harman alone before our meeting on the refugees. I told Harman that he should not take what I was about to say as an official demarche. Instead, it was talk between friends who are interested in U.S. Israeli relations continuing on a smooth course, undisturbed by doubts and suspicions. I said that we fully accepted the statements of Prime Minister Ben Gurion with regard to the peaceful uses of the Dimona reactor. There was no question of doubting his word. We had, however, noted with pleasure his offer to invite an American to the Dimona site as soon as the publicity died down, both in the United States and in Israel. The timing to be Ben Gurion's, the timing to be Ben Gurion's. The affair of the Dimona reactor having arisen in somewhat dramatic circumstances, the technicians associated with such matters maintain a keen and continuing interest in the quiet visit suggested by Ben Gurion. There was interest at higher levels as well. Ambassador Reed had encountered this in paying his calls around Washington. Moreover, the Arab neighbors of Israel not infrequently raised the question of Dimona and its potential use as a source of nuclear weapons. Now Israel was in the throes of what appears to be a political crisis. Ben Gurion had announced his intention to take 4 weeks vacation. Also, he was still the head of a caretaker government. Israel had a record of caretaker government lasting for months. Could Harman advise me what to reply to the question, when do you think Ben Gurion would invite someone to see the Dimona site? Did he think that such an invitation would have to be delayed because of the internal political crisis? Harman replied that in Israel, no one is thinking about anything else except the political crisis. The parties are holding meetings which last for hours and hours. Ben Gurion can think of nothing except the reputation of the Mapai party. I do not see how I could get to him or think that he would be inclined to give an invitation at this time. Harman went on to say that in Israel, the story of the Dimona reactor is very simple. They are building a reactor which will take some 2 years to complete. There is no plutonium. There's plenty of time. Ben Gurion has given all the assurances that anyone could, and additionally has explained that he proposes to hand back the plutonium to the country supplying the uranium. The Israelis, Harman said, could not conceive why there should be continuing interest in Dimona in the United States or anywhere else. In good time, when there was something more to see, the visit might be arranged, but no Israeli, let alone Ben Gurion, could conceive why there was such a hurry about it. I said that I could understand the Israeli attitude being as he had described it, but the idea of the proliferation of nuclear weapons was absolutely anathema to the United States, and although rightly or wrongly, the suspicion of obtaining such a capability had fallen on Israel. Since the United States and Israel are such close friends, and since the offer of a visit had been volunteered by Israel, it seemed to me it was simply good common sense for the visit to take place very quietly and without publicity at an arranged date. The fact of such a visit by qualified experts would be invaluable in allaying suspicion. I reiterated that I was not giving a démarche. He and I were good friends, and I was simply tipping him off with regard to a continuation of United States interest. I thought that when he paid his courtesy call upon the secretary sometime in the next 10 days, it would be an excellent gesture if he could at that time suggest a quiet visit by an American or some other friendly expert. Ambassador Reed has indicated that this would not be at all difficult to arrange. Harmon thanked me for the tip off and said that he would see what he could do. He was not sanguine of results because of the Israeli internal political situation. He himself indicated that he agreed with me that getting the visit over with would be a good thing. Comment, although Harmon would have been far happier had I not raised the subject because he will have difficulty getting anything out of Israel, I'm confident that he considered my nudge a tactful one. I imagine that he will have something to say on the subject when he calls on the secretary, which otherwise might not have been the case. Since we spoke alone in an off-the-record manner, I do not think that the talk with Harmon described above should be cited as a definite U.S. approach in any future chronologies on this subject. All right, so that's the end of that one. May try to do a couple more. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, talk to y'all later.